Hello, greetings everyone. This is Payman Lorza, your host, your friend, your coach. Today I'm super mega giga excited. We're kicking off the UK Europe August 2024 class. Amazing, amazing. First time ever in the beautiful UK and Europe. Super excited. We have an amazing crowd here, and I can't wait. Thank you all of you for your time, for your trust, for your business. It's going to be amazing. We're going to rock and roll. We're going to create magic together. We're building beautiful relationships in the process. So let me start. So first of all, I'd like to give every person, all right, we're friends here, 30 to 45 seconds. Just introduce yourselves. I'm going to go from left to right on my screen. Let's start with Bernadette. Tell us where you're from, and what do you want to expect? What's your expectation for this program at the end of this program?
Okay, well, my name is Bernadette. I'm calling from Manchester, England. And what do I expect? I expect to have all the mystery and sort of complications that I perceive in my own mind around podcasting to be cleared away so that I can actually use podcasting to promote my business, which is basically mediation and coaching.
Love that. You're the right place, my friend. Thank you for being here. Vahida.
Hello, I'm Vaida from UK, Birmingham, England. My expectation is, of course, to learn how to reach high-paid clients, and of course, to find out the secret how we can sell by using podcast.
Beautiful. Love that. Carolyn.
Hello, everyone. Carolyn Hobbs here from the UK, and I'm here to learn everything that I can about podcasting and the best way to do it.
Beautiful. Love that. The one and only, the king of KL. You know who we are. Snow, the floor is yours, brother.
Hey guys, first off, before I introduce myself, let me just say congratulations to all of you for taking this gentleman's course. I am an alumni, and I'm happy to be here just to introduce myself to you all and hopefully be one of the first guests on your podcast. Hi guys, my name is Snow. I am from Joliet, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. I lived here now for in Malaysia for almost 16 years, and thanks to this awesome gentleman right here, I've launched my very own podcast studio, actually, not just my podcast, but actually in-person studio. So super happy to be here and to say hi to you guys.
And this guy has the most amazing background. Not gonna say it, but very diverse. So get in touch with him.
Easy. Yes.
He's amazing. Super proud of you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Always happy to have you here. Peter Russell. Finally got your name correctly, right?
Yes, my name is Peter Russell. I'm a business coach, speaker, and mentor. And by the end of this event or academy, I expect to have a fully fledged podcast up and running, generating leads on demand for me, crazy amount of business. And I also expect Payman to run all of this for me.
As we say in French, do you want also 3 croissants and $100 as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Full shebang.
All right, I'll get you in touch with my assistant. She's gonna take your order, okay? I only accept Bitcoins, okay? Especially for you. Thank you, brother. Here's another wonderful friend and alumni from a previous class, the lovely Juliana.
Hi, beautiful people. My name is Juliana McLean. I am living in Denmark for quite a little bit of time, 14 years. My expectation is, because I was in this class, is to renew, to remember, to deepen, to understand more deep the layers, and to the layers what is podcast. I feel super inspired from the first time I was to the academy. I already started. I do small steps, but then again, let's go back to school. There is something more to deepen, to see, to connect. And thank you again for the invitation, Payman, and for being here. Thank you for everybody being here.
Thank you for being here with us. Next, probably the king of the hairstyle is none of the UK. The one and only Mark Overton.
That was quite an introduction. Thank you. I was expecting that one. Thank you very much, Fabian, and everybody else. Great to meet everybody if I haven't met you already. It feels a real privilege to be here. So very similar to everybody else. So first of all, by the way, I'm English. I live in St. Albans, but right now I'm in the south of France. So I'm also half French, and my kids, which are right here down beside me now, are technically 3/4 French. So we spend a lot of time in France when we can too. My sort of expectations, if you like, and also my goal, similar to Peter, is to get a podcast going ASAP. And I really feel that this is going to be the main channel of my marketing message and my voice in terms of my health and fitness and lifestyle approach. And I can't wait to, already in the short course I did last week with Payman, thinking about the types of guests that might come on in terms of people that have gone through transformations themselves. I'm just really excited to learn as much as I can and get it started.
Thank you for being a brother. You're in the right place. Delighted to have you here. My good friend from he's got an incredible story. He's the expert when it comes to reading facial expressions from the tropical island. Joseph.
Far from tropical, Payman, unfortunately, but we do have blue skies today, so always very welcome. Yes, greetings from, believe it or not, sunny Dublin. I am just delighted to be here. I know he hasn't shown it to us yet, but I know Payman has a magic wand that he's going to be waving and sprinkling magic dust all over us as we go through the course. And he will be showing us how to create a podcast that is not just a podcast, because Payman does not do ordinary. If you haven't engaged with him before, I can verify that. Payman does things at a whole new level. So as for me, what I do is I read people. I help my clients read people for sales, negotiation, recruitment, and for communicating and building authentic relationships.
Love that. Absolutely love what you're doing, brother. I'm really honored to have you here with us. Thank you. Next, a dear friend of mine, podcaster, an incredible human being also. He's been the one helping me with my TEDx talk, the one and only Paul. I'm super happy to have you.
Yeah, good evening, man. It's good to be here. Hi, everyone. My name is Paul. I'm an American, but currently living in Da Nang, Vietnam. And I'm a university lecturer and been doing YouTube for nearly 10 years, was live streaming. This is another element of multimedia that I really want to learn at the highest level. And so that's why Payman inspired me to join you all. So I'm looking forward to this, Payman. Thanks. It's going to be great.
Plays all mine. Plays all mine. Next. He comes from the beautiful land of down under. Not the other side, but the closest to you guys, from South Africa. David.
Good morning. I'm David Horse from Johannesburg, South Africa. I do head and heart, the right mindset, coupled to a super healthy body. What I'm looking for is this time next month, I want my podcast up and running and going. That's my goal. Thank you, Payman.
Pleasure on mine, brother. It's an honor having you with us. Thank you so much. Thank you. One of my dear friends I got to know over the last maybe month and a half, 2 months. Absolute heart of gold. Beautiful story. The one and only Angela.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. So Angela Roth, I live in Devon, normally in Manchester at the moment with my beautiful little grandson. But really looking forward to learning how to monetize the side of the podcast, how to get in with the right people, particularly on our speakers program, because we love getting speakers who are heart-led, who've got a message to share out there so that people actually can connect with authentic, true people who actually care about them rather than just about the dollar signs in their eyes. So that's what I'm looking forward to making sure that we get it into the right people and get the right people the publicity that they deserve.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You're in the right place, my friend. You're in the right place. Let me see who else. Maya from lovely Scotland. And tropical.
Yeah, it's very tropical and very wet and very humid at the moment. So as you can hear, I'm not from Scotland. I'm a Londoner, but I've been up here an awfully long time. I think my main ambition for this is to show up, to learn, and to untangle my spaghetti head so that I'm funneled and know what I'm doing, not just with a podcast, but just have a really solid, clear direction for my business at the moment, because I've been kind of off sick for about 2 years, and I'm also a full-time carer for my adult son at the moment. So life can get a bit like this. So I'm really looking forward to just being here and having some time for me and doing things that I want and learning how to love being back in business again.
Beautiful. Love that. You're in the right place, my friend. As soon as I heard your story, I said, you need to be in this. And I'm so happy that you said yes. Super.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We have a guest here. Wonderful guest, Dirk Roth. Go ahead, my friend.
Yes, so I'm Angela's husband, and she suggested I came along with, so I've come along. But the reason for that is that I think podcasting would really fit very well with where I am at the moment. My background is I'm an English teacher, secondary, worked in secondary schools for a long time, and I do quite a bit of tutoring of students. But my main heart is the Bible. And I've written a couple of books which do lend themselves very well to this sort of format. I'm looking for ways to help people. Basically, my heart is to help people understand the Bible a bit better. So I've got these books I've been working on, which I think would come across well, or would be helpful for people to explore in this kind of format. So that's where I'm at.
Beautiful. Love that. Thank you for being here. Thank you. The lady with the most beautiful name, Gifty.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, everyone. My name is Gifty, as you've heard. I'm also here to learn about purpose and make myself visible. I'm a mentor in terms of the work I do. And so I'm hoping to develop a service that can reach women in healthcare professionals to boost their confidence and to combat work-life challenges, and not just that, without self-doubt and shame. Because, if you all know about NHS, many are struggling, and we need people to be in that business. But a lot have left the profession prematurely. And so I'm using my experiences in overcoming work-life challenges over 30 years to support the next generation and my colleagues to do the same. But I feel the podcast will be a good vehicle for me to reach them.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. Love what you're doing, and looking forward to helping you get your gifts out so you can start your own awful podcast. Next, here's a lady that I got to know over the last month and a half. She's becoming a very influential lady in my life because she's the one coaching me in my personal public speaking. And I'm super honored that she said yes, and she's here tonight with us. And I feel kind of self-conscious, so please be easy on me. Don't be too hard on me. She's been the one coaching me from my TEDx talk, along with Paul. But here she is, the one and only Dr. Owen Vo. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Lorenzo, for such an introduction. So, good evening, everyone. This is Owen Vo. I live in Da Nang, Vietnam, and I'm now a business lecturer. To be honest, I am just a very newbie in this kind of like podcasting, something like that. Even that I thought that I will have a podcast channel of my own for more than 2 years already. Be the podcaster. Like it's just only today that I will have it. I just simply that I would love to invest, like to know that way, like the limitations of my creativity. And something to do, I will have the podcast that I will go around and then ask people about their definition and find the happiness thing, the simplicity. That is it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's an honor having you here. And guys, if you're looking to improve your public speaking, she's the one. I've been working with her for the past month, and this lady is pure fire. So if you have any ambition to do public speaking, Even if you've done over almost 350 podcast episodes like me, that I thought I knew how to speak, this lady completely humbled me in a good way. So get in touch with her.
Okay.
She's your contact when it comes to learning to speak publicly. So absolutely, it's honored having you here. Please be easy on me. Don't be too tough on me. I'm still learning, okay?
It's okay.
Thank you. All right, next.
You will.
My brother, Hamish Niven. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Was all mine.
Yeah, I'm Hamish. I've got a podcast going. It's all about making sense of change, because I've had to make quite a few changes in my life, like most of us, I guess. My expectations, I don't often have expectations, but Payman has asked me what mine are. So mine are to get my leads sorted, have my grandmother, grandfather, great-granddaddy offer perfect as it can be. Have my message for my clients sorted so they just find what I'm offering them is utterly irresistible, and get out of my own way so I can actually do it rather than fret about it and worry whether they actually like me and all that kind of bull. So yeah, that's it. And what was the last one? And how to get the most onto the most appropriate podcasts. So yeah, that is my goal of the next 4 weeks.
Beautiful. Thank you for being here. And I have to say, you are probably the only one in here so far that can give Snow a run for his money when it comes to the coolest studio in town so far. So I love the picture you posted. Did you see that, Snow? That amazing backyard? Oh, wow. I'm jealous.
I'm in my cousin's garden for the week. Yeah, it's rather nice. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just a bit
Awesome.
windy.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Next, we have another good friend from here, from Vietnam. Very successful lady in her own, and very smart lady in her own way. Super happy that you said yes. Amy, the floor is yours, my friend. Come say hi to us.
I'm going to introduce Amy. Amy is my better half, and she's actually in the other room right now on her laptop. She works very, very hard, and but she is paying attention. She has some microphone issues. Amy is an equities portfolio manager here in Da Nang, and you're right. She's probably the smartest woman in Vietnam, aside from Dr. On, of course. Yeah. So, Dr. On is a colleague of mine. Amy is my better half. And she's really excited to be part of this and get to know some of you. And I know Dr. Owen has met her, Payman has met her. She is an incredible woman and is going to be successful in this podcasting endeavor or whatever she does.
Absolutely. And one last thing I want us to add about what brings us all here together. Two gentlemen here with whom I have a very special connection, deep connection. One is you, Paul, and one is Snow, because both of you served in Afghanistan, me being an Afghan Canadian. Really, salute to all of you guys. Thank you for your service and your sacrifices. An honor. Thank you for having you here. Thank you. Just want to say that personal note. All right, cool. Did I miss anyone? As my good friend Phil would say, speak now,
so many
peace forever. Huh?
You missed so many people. There's so many people that didn't say hi yet.
Like who? Me, I, and myself?
Carol?
I didn't see you from Carolyn.
She did.
Carolyn Hobbs.
Oh, I missed one person. How can I miss her? I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. The one and only, the one that was probably the main reason that we're doing this here all together, the one and only, Deborah Blackman.
Yes.
My dear friend. I apologize.
Thank you, Payman, and thanks for everybody for coming here today. It is such a wonderful privilege to see everybody, and thanks for everybody who's helped to bring this community together. It's just wonderful. And you know what, for me, it's about seeing everybody thrive. I was privileged to have gone through Payman's Training Academy, and it has transformed not just my business, but my life. And it makes me very emotional because I have a voice and I can spread that voice to thousands and thousands of people now that you've given that to me. So thank you. Thank you so much.
From my heart and my soul to yours, my sister. Thank you. Pleasure all mine. Seriously. The first call I had with her back in January, she was like this. Hi, my name is Deborah. She reminded me of me a few years ago. Now she's a lioness. She can't be stopped. She's like, what, 4 podcasts? She's traveling the world. She's doing amazing things, wheeling and dealing all of this with amazing people. So Thank you for stepping up, saying yes to opportunity, saying yes to who you're meant to be. Thank you. And thank you for coming to my life and for us to create this beautiful magic that we all have here today in front of us. So thank you. Thank you. Awesome. I'm super excited. All right. You guys ready to rock and roll? Did I miss anyone else? No, nobody? Okay, let's go. Let me share my screen. Let me find the right screen. I have so many screens here. Okay, do you see my screen? Share it here. Okay, so welcome here. This is the August class for the UK Europe. First time ever. You guys are special. You guys are pioneers of this program. And this is going to get big. I know it. And we have amazing friends here to help us bring it to the UK, like Deborah, Angela, Peter, and all of the others. So thank you. So what is the premise of this program? This program is to help you and show you, teach you, guide you how to launch a profitable podcast so you can get leads on demand and your first paying client in as little as 60 days from today. Even if you have no audience to start with, without spamming and no ad spend. I'm going to be sharing with you the exact same principle that allowed me to get 6 clients in the first weekend, 60 in the next 10 months with a YouTube channel of less than 200 subscribers. And now my channel is just at 1,399 subscribers, which is still absolutely tiny on YouTube. But I just passed the 100 mark of high-ticket clients. Again, because for me, it's all about relationship, nurturing process, and trust. And this is what we're going to be doing today. So the agenda for today, we just went through some of it. The meet and greet, getting to know each other. I'm going to go briefly through house cleaning. And then I'm going to go over the overview of the 4-week program, as well as the overview of week 1. And then we're going to be diving deep into the meat and potato of tonight's, which is day 1 of week 1. And at the end, we'll have a Q&A. I'll stay until the last question has been answered. So I'll be here. I'm not going to kick you out. I don't have a hard, stop, because you're my number 1 priority. I'm going to make sure everyone has had their questions answered. So anytime any questions, just raise your hand and we'll go through that. So briefly, some housekeeping. You know all of that because I went through that in the challenge. My goal is 100% success rate for everyone in the academy. I want to see everyone launch their profitable podcast at the end of the program. I want to see you guys start getting paid clients through your podcast on a regular basis, on a monthly and weekly basis, even on a daily basis, once you get the hang of it and you get going and all that. And to achieve that, I will be here for you and work with you every step of the way until you succeed. I am here from the moment I wake up to the moment I pass out at night. You guys are my number 1 priority. And I will do that for you. And I only ask you to attend. So it will be 1 live coaching call a week on Mondays at this time. So for those of you in the UK, it's 1 p.m. For those of us in Asia, it's 7 p.m. our time. I don't think there's anyone in the US, but if there is, it will be 8 a.m. on the East Coast and 5 a.m. on the West Coast. So yeah. And every day of the week, from Tuesday to Friday, you get 1 daily video lesson. You're looking at 30 to 40-minute time requirement, time commitment per day for the next 4 weeks, except on Mondays. That's all you need. And then we are here. We have a Facebook group. We have a Messenger group. And everybody is very helpful, very supportive, and all that. So for me, you know me. I'm a collector. I collect success stories and testimonials. Podcasting completely changed my life. 4 years ago, I was broken, almost homeless, suicidal almost. Nothing was working. There were days that I didn't want to even get out of bed, crying myself to sleep some nights. And even at one point, I was asking if that's the way to live. I don't want to continue playing this game. I was considering to checking out. And what saved my life is this, especially 2 things that I shared with you guys: learning to ask better questions and learning to listen to my inner voice. And that's going to be the topic of my TEDx talk in 2 weeks' time. But anyways, we're not here for that. So, and at the end, I would love to get from each and every single one of you an honest and glowing video testimonial to further increase my collection of testimonials. So that's the house cleaning. Anytime, any question, I'm here for you. So what are you going to achieve upon completing this 4-week program? What is what I call the most important principle to implement? Not only that I'm implementing in my business, but also I will also make sure you guys start implementing it. And that is, if you remember from day 3 of the challenge that we did together 2 weeks ago, what is your quantifiable, measurable end result at the end of the challenge? And that is, you will have your profitable podcast launch within 3 weeks. And then the next week, the week 4, which is an extra bonus week that I added, we're going to look at how you can get your first paying client in as little as 30 days from the time your podcast is launched. So today we are Monday, July 29th. You follow the steps in here, you do the work, you're coachable, you implement all that I'm teaching you. And I can promise you by the end of September, if you follow what I'm teaching by the letter, you will get your first paying client. That's my promise to you. And if you don't, come back to me and no, seriously, I'm going to be working with you to make sure you do. That is the promise, the premise of this program. This is your quantifiable, measurable end result. So, yeah, let me go through this. So structure of the program, week 1, the foundation. We're going to dive into that. Week 2, we're going to take into everything pertaining to tech and equipment, which is one of the major reasons that's holding people back. And that was also holding me back because I'm not a techie. I wasn't, and I'm still not, but I learned what I needed to learn. Week 3, once we build a solid foundation for the podcast, which is identifying your zone of genius and building your offer, your messaging, and in your business, your podcast around your zone of genius, your 3 gifts. And once we've taken care of the tech side, we're going to look into what we need to do to ensure that we have a smashingly good launch from day 1. And then week 4, that's the bonus week that I'm adding for the first time ever in this program. And that is, we're going to take all the teachings of the first 3 weeks and take them to the next level. And that is, it's one thing for you to have a consistent, reliable system to get leads on demands. But what we all want is to get paying clients. This is what I'm going to be sharing with you. My own personal proven blueprint, what I use myself to get me out of the financial hole and hell I was. And also this is what I've been using ever since to get clients whenever I needed to and I wanted to. So I'm going to be sharing that with you. That's very exciting. That week 4 can be a standalone product by itself, an easy $5,000 program, but I'm including it in here for you guys as a bonus, as my way of saying thank you, and also testing it for the first time here in the UK. So super excited about that. So let's take a look at the overview of each week by week. So week 1, we're diving basically even deeper into what I covered briefly inside the recent 5-day challenge. So day 1 is going to be the clarity, because clarity is the name of the game. Your why, the who, and the what. Day 2 is going to be, we're going to get creative. We're going to be starting to brainstorm to name your podcast the right way. As you can see, there will be various manners to name a podcast and to brand it. Day 3, we're going to take a look at the format. Should it be just you speaking, you and another person as a co-host, or you and other people in form of a roundtable, and then as well as the length of your podcast and so on and so forth. Day 4, we're going to be taking a look at the frequency. How often should you release your episode? Should it be once a day, once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, and so on and so forth? And there are countless examples of very successful podcasts for every frequency. And then day 5, we're going to put it all together, and we're going to be looking into how to get the right people, not only the right people, but high quality, qualified, pre-vetted, your ideal warm leads, prospects, listeners, and potential clients onto your show organically, without asking, without begging, without chasing, by simply inviting them. We're going to do all of that on Friday of this week. So that's for week 1. Once we've taken care of that, after having built the foundation and mapping out your podcast, then we're going to take a look at the actual logistics of it, your equipment. So day 1, Monday of next week, what kind of microphone you will need, what kind of microphone I started to use when I started my journey, and I will share that with you, as well as all the accessories required, the softwares, and all that good stuff. We're going to be covering that on next week, next Monday. Day 2 of week 2 is probably my favorite day of that week, because we're going to get actually creative. We're going to start building and creating your own artwork and media for your podcast, such as your cover art, your banners, your thumbnails, your social media reels, and all that. And I will bring in for you guys a dear friend of mine. She's going to be showing you how to do that. She's a social media queen and Canva queen. She's going to come and do that, show us as a masterclass for that as well. If not next week, the week after. Day 3, that's where we're going to get really our hands dirty, so to speak. We're going to start recording our first episode, our first test episode. We're going to go into that. We're going to see what kind of software to use, how to record, and all that good stuff. And as you will see, it's a lot easier than what you think. Don't let the tech side of it overwhelm you. Day 4, we're going to take our sample of day 3 recording, and we're going to start dissecting it, cutting it, making reels, making edits out of it. It's all a test. It's as if I was sitting right beside you, showing from my screen what I'm doing, screen by screen, step by step. It's going to be very easy. And then we're going to take that editing, and then we're going to start uploading it online to our hosting. And I'm going to be showing that all of that for you. Day 5, we're going to put all of that together. And I'm going to be talking to you about hosting and submitting your podcast to platform, because yes, you will need a hosting for your audio as well as for your video. And I'm going to cover all of that and painstakingly details on day 5 of week 2. So that's for week 2. At the end of week 2, you will know all that you need to know to handle any aspect of tech for podcasting, not just podcasting, but also for YouTube. So it's going to be exciting. Day 3, once we build a solid foundation, taking care of the tech, we're going to look at how to have a smashingly banging good launch and launch week. So day 1, I'm going to be sharing with you a simple yet effective launch strategy. Plus, I'm going to go back and review recording your first episode, because that's very important. Day 2, I'm going to share with you a very aggressive launch strategy to really put your podcast on the map and your business, your YouTube channel and all that. Day 3 is probably my favorite day of the week. It's going to be understanding and leveraging the tremendous power of press releases and getting into the media. And I'm very honored and delighted. I can't wait. We'll have a superstar, a real superstar, a PR king. He's going to come to us and do the talking for us. He's going to share with us the kind of guy that's currently traveling the world and shooting movies left and right, series for Netflix and the kind, at that level. So super high level man is going to come for us. Super excited. I don't know if he's here. Deborah can say hi to us. Can you just say hi, Stephen? Some of you may know him.
Well, Stephen's busy filming at the moment, so he's unable to log in. So, but yeah, he's very much looking forward to it.
Is he able to come say hi even toward the end of the call? Just a hi.
That is debatable, because he's filming on location. So
he's not here. Okay, no worries. We'll have him next week then. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Say hi to him. Day 4, we're going to be talking about social media, all social media related. I'm going to be bringing an actual social media queen for you guys to really show us about how to take your social media game to the next level, as well as mastering Canva to create killer graphics and all that. So super excited about that. Day 5, we're going to put all of that together, and we're going to look at, even though the goal of this program is for you guys to launch your podcast, your profitable podcast. Launching a podcast is only not even step 1, but step 0 in your journey into the world of podcasting for business. So we're going to look at what do we need to do to continue marketing and promoting your podcast beyond the launch. I'm going to be sharing with you some very advanced and very effective strategies to do that. So that's week 3, launch week. And here's the bonus week, the one that I just, I'm going to be adding just for this class for the first time ever. So you guys are very, very lucky, because that's something I haven't shared before. And that is getting your first paying client, not just getting leads on demand, but getting your first paying client in as little as 30 days from the time we launch your podcast, even if you have no audience. Without spamming. Sorry? Is anyone asking a question, or it's a background noise? If you're not speaking, please mute yourself. I can't understand.
Gifty's mic is on.
Oh, Gifty. Okay, let me mute her. Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to be sharing with you my own personal proven blueprint, exactly what I've been using to get myself literally out of hell, to get back on my feet and way above any expectation. First of all, I'm going to be sharing with you the tremendous, tremendous, tremendous power of Facebook groups. Facebook groups are incredible. I can, up to now, I can say that 90% of my business, my clients, my guests have come from Facebook groups. And only recently I've started to venture into LinkedIn. Seriously, Facebook groups are an absolute gold mine. And I will bring to you, for you guys, an absolute killer of an expert when it comes to building community. My dear good friend, Tyson Sharp, for those of you who know him, from the founder of the Serving Circle, he's a legend in his own way when it comes to building phenomenal groups. And he's going to come and talk to us for that. I'm super excited for that. Day 2, I'm going to be sharing with you my proven and secret strategy to building your winning program effortlessly in as little as 7 days. No need for you to spend months or spend a ton of money to build a program. I'm going to show you how to build your program without spending any money or very little money, and also only if you want to, by just listening to your audience. I'm going to be sharing all that to you. That's a killer. That's the same principle that all the big boys, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Russell Brunson, whenever they're launching a new program, they don't waste a second or a penny and building a program. They use this approach. I'm going to be sharing that with you guys on day 2. Day 3, I'm going to be sharing the one thing that really took my business to the next level. For 2 years, I was struggling getting any clients consistently. And then as soon as I started implementing that, that's when my business started to take off. And that is running your own profitable 5-day challenge. All of you guys here, except some of you, are all here because of a 5-day challenge I hosted recently. 5-day challenge is incredibly powerful because that's the best way for you to get high-ticket clients. That's what all the big boys are doing because it works, because it gives you an opportunity to share your story, display your expertise, and build trust with your audience in the course of 5 days. And all of you guys in here can and should launch your own 5-day challenge in the next 30 to 60 days, because it's not rocket science, and that could literally take your business to the next level. I know it did for me, and I'm going to be bringing for you an actual friend of mine. She's also an alumni of the Academy from the January class. She's a killer queen when it comes to running very successful 5-day challenges for other people. She's the one that helped me initially back in January, and the rest is history. Day 4, I'm going to be sharing with you how to get your first paying client in as little as 30 days, even if you have no audience and without spamming, by just utilizing the teachings from the previous days. And I'm going to be sharing that with you. Even if you have nothing at this time, no program, no audience, no money, I'm going to show you how to get that first paying client in the first 30 days. And day 5, I'm going to be sharing with you one of my secret weapons, and that is leveraging the absolute incredible power of testimonials to charge more and raise your prices regularly. That's why when people ask me, what do you do when they meet me for the first time? I don't say I'm a podcaster. I don't say I'm a 4-time #1 international bestselling author. I have an academy. My answer is I'm a collector. What do you collect? I collect success stories, testimonials. Because again, success stories and testimonials, what's going to sell your program. You guys met Jay, my coach, last week, 2 weeks ago, rather. He started this program as a sales coach 4 years ago. For his first class, he was charging only $500. Then he did something that changed his life and his family's life like this forever, for the good. He started focusing on getting testimonials, as many testimonials for the next 30 days. He was able to get 43 testimonials, glowing testimonials, 60 to 90 seconds from his clients, and he was able to bump big time his rate from $500 to $10,000 in 30 days. Just by applying this, because again, your testimonials are what's going to be displaying your expertise, showing what you can do, and showing real results from real people. That's what people want to see. Testimonials are the fastest way to really start charging the kind of money that you know you deserve to charge, and keep raising them without losing clients. That's what we're going to share with you guys. So when at the end of this week 4, you will have a rocket under your feet. It's going to take you to the moon and beyond if you implement it, and when you implement it, because that is gold. That is what exactly took me out of literally hell to where I'm now. And this is what's going to also help all of you guys. So are you guys excited? All right, cool. Any questions so far about the the overview of the 4 weeks so far before we move on into week 1? Let me check with, are there any questions in the chat? I can't check the chat. Deborah, any questions? Let me.
Well, they was asked a question about how much this equipment and everything costs.
Okay.
And I just put in the chat that it's the microphone really to get you started. And that can be as little as 80 to what, 120?
Not even.
Not even. Yeah.
Not even. At the end of tonight's call, today's call rather, tonight for me, today for you, I will show you the exact microphone I started 4 years ago. It cost me 63 US dollars, which is what, 50 quid, 50 pounds on Amazon. So the good news is getting a starter microphone for your podcast is not expensive. You can get one for less than 50 pounds, either from Amazon or from your local electronics store. So let me see. I have a billion cone.
Okay.
Perfect, Angela.
Can I just check with you, Pema?
Yes.
In terms you did with the overview of what we are going to be exposed to, you did mention Tuesday, we meet Mondays by Zoom, and then Tuesday to Friday. What are the exposure? Is it by Facebook or?
Great question. So you get 1 live coaching calls a week on Mondays at the same time, 1 p.m. UK time. The rest of the weeks, Tuesday to Friday, you get 1 daily video lesson that's going to be posted inside the Facebook group. Before you wake up by 8 a.m. UK time, you will have it on the Facebook group. And I will tag all of you inside the Facebook group, so keep an eye on it. And at the end of each day, you will have daily action steps or homework, if you want to call it that way. And you're very welcome and highly recommended to share your homework inside the Facebook group, not only for other people to pitch in and for me to pitch in, but also to inspire other people. So share your homework so that we can all learn and grow from each other. And also to help you further understand each other. So who knows, maybe you can collaborate, joint venture, or at the very least, interview each other on your podcasts.
Okay. That sounds good.
Awesome. Cool. Any other questions before I move on? Once, twice, sold. Okay.
Okay. Just one thing that I would say to this group as well is that there is extraordinary people. They are all in this group, and they are, like Payman said, absolute gold dust for your own podcasts. And they know what they're doing because they've all been on this training. So I would say, without doubt, if you can start to really collaborate within this group, because I know even on the free 5-day challenge that people are already doing business with each other. So do use this as a mechanism to network and to get help from other people as well, because it's such a great group. You put out a message and everybody contributes to it. So please do use the group because it's really supportive.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Deborah, for this reminder. Absolutely. All right, let's move on. Let me find the right screen. Okay. Let's move on to overview of week 1. So we already did that. Now, let's get going. We're going to look at overview of week 1 as to the foundation of your podcast, such as your what, your why, your who, your how, your when, and your where, to really build the foundation of your podcast. So for example, these are some main questions that we all need to answer, to brainstorm, and eventually to identify our zone of genius, our true gift. First of all, why do you want to start a podcast? What is the message you're trying to convey through your podcast? Who are you trying to serve? Who's your ideal listener and client? And I'm going to help you with that further later on today. Choosing the right name and the type of name for your podcast. As you will see tomorrow, there's a multitude of ways to brand your podcast and your business. And all of that, there will be no guesswork. It's all going to be based on a logical progression. Each day builds upon the previous day. So very important that you follow the steps. For example, deciding on the length and format of your podcast. How long should be your podcast? Should it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30, 40, an hour, 3 hours? These are great questions. And this is not a random decision. It's a very key strategic decision that we're gonna, once we dive deep inside identifying your zone of genius, who you're trying to serve with what, it's gonna become self-evident what should be the right length for your podcast. Same thing on the format. Should it be just you speaking, sharing your knowledge? Should it be you interviewing your prospect or experts in your industry? Should it be you and someone else as a co-host? Should it be you and other people in a round table? All of these are phenomenal format for a podcast, very successful. Now, which one applies to you? That's something that we will work together to brainstorm to identify which one is the best for you. Again, should you have a co-host? That's not a light decision. That's a very strategic decision. How often should you release your show? Should it be once a day, once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, once every quarter, and so on and so forth? On which platform should your podcast be? Should it be audio, video, or both? Last but definitely not least, mapping out your first 10, 20, a billion episodes, getting the right people, high quality guests on your show. And my favorite, that principle alone can really be worth 100 times the price of admission, and that is building your own Dream 100 list. Some of you, like Deborah and Snow, you've gone through that. You know how powerful the Dream 100 list is. So this is going to be incredibly powerful, guys. And that's what we're going to do on Friday. So this is all for week 1. Now, let's take a look at each day more in detail. Day 1, the why and the who. Again, brainstorming ultimately to identify your true zone of genius, and then identify your avatar, the person you can help at the highest level. So what is your why? What is your goal? What is the objective you're trying to achieve in launching your podcast? Identifying your exact ideal client and all of this good stuff. And ultimately identifying who's the specific person, not people in general, but the very specific person that you can help and serve at the highest level. Earlier today, I had a chat with a gentleman. He's helping male combat athletes between the age of 25 to 35. Now, that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful laser focus avatar. That's what we want to achieve. So as an example, I'm going to share with you later today some examples of past students who had a beautiful avatar. Day 3. Wait, did I skip day 2? Oh, yeah, day 2, sorry. Naming a podcast. That's a very key strategic decision. Going to be sharing with you the different ways to name your podcast. We'll review the various types of naming your podcast. We'll work together to help you identify what is the ideal name and style of naming for your show, for your podcast, and ultimately your business. Day 3, format, co-host, no co-host, length of your podcast, and so on and so forth. We'll review all of those types, the pros and cons, to see which one makes the most sense for you. Should you have a co-host or no? Should it be just you speaking, interviewing others, or in a round table? And again, we'll cover all the various options for that, the pros and cons, and then we'll work together to identify which one makes the most for you, the ideal length of your length and format of your podcast. Day 4, the frequency, the platforms, the type of content, and so on and so forth. For example, how often do you want to release your episodes? Should it be daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and so on and so forth? Which platforms? As you will see, there's lots of options out there. Should be audio or video or both. And again, we'll work together one-on-one and the group, inside the group, to find what makes the most sense for you and your podcast based on your goals and objectives for your podcast. Again, nothing is random. Nothing is left to guesswork. It's all going to be a natural, automatic progression based on the previous day. Everything builds upon the previous day's information, just like when you're building a house. Day 5, putting it all together, getting high quality guests on your show. So again, after we've spent time identifying exact ideal listeners, clients, identifying a zone of genius and all that good stuff, we're going to brainstorm as to where is that specific person of yours hanging out the most, and then simply reaching out to them and inviting them. I'm going to be sharing with you, even though I always emphasize not to use a script. This is one of the only exceptions that there will be a script, and that script will get you close to 97% hell yes when you reach people with this approach, with this script. So as I mentioned, the script, yep. Oh yeah, and also I will be sharing with you the exact approach and script that I've been using to get high quality, warm, receptive referrals without asking for referrals. And then the last exercise of the week, probably the most powerful one, is going to be to build your dream 100 list. That alone can really take your business to the next level. Deborah, do you remember the Dream 100 list?
Oh, it was an absolute game changer. And you know what? The two people that I put on that I never thought what it would ever get, actually, I got like in a nanosecond, because it didn't even take them 5 minutes to come back to me when I used that script that you give us to actually have people to come on and invite them on. And it was like, this is awesome. So the 100 list, Dream 100 list, you can use it for anything. And this is the great thing with this training. There's lots of different applications that you can use the nuggets of gold that Payman gives us on different things that we're doing in our business. But it was just such a game changer. So yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Thank you. I'm delighted. Yeah, when you posted the screenshot that you reached out to a high-powered founder of a leading law firm in London, they responded to you within 5 minutes.
Oh, I mean, it was literally, I pressed send, and normally, I don't know if people have ever had this, but, you know, in the greatest scheme of things, who am I? You know, I've not got a big brand behind me. And literally, it just pinged back saying, yeah, I'll be on your podcast. I haven't even published the podcast that time. It was just the waiting list to go on it. So I didn't have anything even to tell them. And they said, yeah, so that's the power of it. Absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. I'm super happy to hear that. Yes, guys, that works. Gifty, did you say something?
No, I'm just being excited.
Did someone say anything? Okay, let's move on. So again, the first assignment, your first task of the day of the week is getting a microphone. So here's the first microphone that got me started. This big boy, the Samsung Q2U handheld dynamic USB microphone recording and podcasting pack. I bought it in March of 2020 on Amazon for 83 Canadian dollars, 64 US, 50 pounds. Now it's probably a bit more, about, I don't know, 60 pounds. That's a great microphone to start with. What I would recommend is make sure two things. One, the microphone you buy, the first microphone you buy, is a USB microphone, so you can plug it directly into your computer, and not something that you need an external amplifier, because that can make things complicated. So one, make sure it's a USB microphone. And second of all, make sure it has a stand. As you see the stand like here, this is the stand. Make sure it comes with a stand. That's the only two things you need. And also this thing here, the pop screen filter. Without this, some sound can sound like, especially some put. But this, it stops that from making that weird background noise. The one I have, this one I bought it last year at a store in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I bought it for $80. It's amazing because it completely stops the surrounding noises. So you can have a band playing right beside me, you will not hear it. And this one, I got it for 80 bucks. It's pretty good over a year, and it's called PANMAI. It's a private label, I believe. So you can get some really good one. Just go on Amazon, look for the best microphone you can afford. And the good news is you can have some really good, solid starting microphone for podcasting that is USB for less than between 80 to 100 pounds or dollars. So, Snow, when you started, what microphone did you start with? And how much did it cost you, if you remember?
I unfortunately I can't do anything small for some reason, so I bought some very expensive pod mics, Rode pod mics that I didn't know how to use forever. But I don't recommend people do what I did. I paid way too much for my studio. When I was doing a studio, an in-person studio. So my Rode pod mics, they cost the microphone, the stands, I think over $1,000.
Okay. Deborah, thank you for sharing that. Do you remember which microphone did you start with, and how much did it cost you?
All right. So weirdly enough, I had one. I kind of got, I don't know, guided by my inner whatever it was to buy a microphone, because I just thought one day I might have it wasn't even a podcast. So I bought the N31 microphone, and that cost me about 90 quid, 90 pounds. It's good. You know, you can take it out and about with you, etc. But, you know, I know that Angela has kindly put in our chat a link to an extremely good microphone that she's using. And I think from what I could just see in the chat, I think it cost about £35.
Wow.
Yeah. So Angela, could you just let people know how you were using yours and what one you've got?
Yeah, so I put the link in the chat, got it from Amazon, and funnily enough, I was starting to do live recordings and didn't have very much money at the time. Kind of did some research trying to find out what people thought, and this one came up. So I bought it, and it was coming out fine. And then my sons, who are real gamers, and they love having these game podcast type chats, they were like, "Mom, where did you get this microphone from? It's absolutely amazing. Can I borrow it?" So I was losing it to my son who was using it. And in the end, he's actually got it now and he's using it. So I've given it to several people and they've using it. And it honestly, as your first podcast microphone, you can't beat it. Literally. Yeah. Later on, when you're up and running and all the rest of it, you can always go out there and get one of these massive, or these $1,000 ones that Snow likes.
Exactly.
But I would definitely recommend it, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. What I would invite all of you guys is later today or tomorrow, post inside the Facebook group a picture of your microphone, if you do have a microphone, so that we can inspire others that may not have one yet, okay? And once you do get yours, please share it so we can all, you know, inspire each other. All right, cool. And you will need a microphone for next week, so please get one, because next week, especially starting from day 2 and 3, next Tuesday, next Wednesday, we're going to be starting to use your microphone. So you will not need it for week 1, but you will need it for week 2. So make sure that you have one by next week. So you have plenty of time. Either get it from Amazon UK or get it from your local electronics store. All right, cool. Let's move on. All right, so that's the overview of week 1. Any question about the overview before I actually dive into the teachings of tonight? Let me catch up with the chat. Okay. Any questions so far about anything I've talked about so far? Once, twice? All right, let's move on to the next. Let's move to the actual meat and potato of tonight. Okay. Okay, so we already went that. Okay, now, so day 1, this is the content for today. Gonna look at the why and the who first of all. Again, as I mentioned briefly earlier, this is something that we all want to really brainstorm together, but also after this call, when you're on your own, set aside a good 10, 15 minutes to really think through about this, because we're building the foundation of your podcast right here. And this is what's going to help you when it's going to come to identifying your zone of genius, identifying your gifts, so that we can build your offer, your messaging, your podcast, and ultimately your business around your zone of genius. This is the first step. Why do you want to podcast? What is your objective for launching a podcast? What is the message you want to convey to your podcast? Here's some common reasons for launching a podcast from all of the previous classes I've hosted so far since December 2021. For example, podcasting can be a phenomenal lead generation for your business. And I would add a lead education for your business, to educate your audience about not only about you, but also about the problem they have, about your expertise, and so on and so forth. Sharing your story and your message with the audience. That's a very, very powerful reason to do so. Podcasting, we all know it. It's a phenomenal for content marketing. So for example, let's say your podcast about an hour. You can split that up into 10, whatever you want. Short content, reels, highlights, quotes, and so on and so forth. Growing a new audience. Let's say you're going into adding a new line of product or a new offering. That's a phenomenal way to build a new audience. promoting an upcoming, whatever you're doing, whether it's a launch, a book, a course, a program, an event, whatever it is, it's perfect for that. If you're already an existing established brand, then having a podcast is wonderful to build further brand awareness. Or even if you're just starting to let your audience know, to let the marketplace know about you and your brand. And of course, here's a big one, especially if you're a coach, a professional, a thought leader, an author, and that is to be recognized as a leader in your field, as a leader, an authority, an expert. That's one of the best ways to do so. Last but definitely not least is because it's fun. None of us would be podcasting if it wasn't fun. That certainly applies for me, and I'm sure for all of you guys. So looking at this list, let's hear a few of you. What is the number one reason that you want to launch your podcast? I mean, these are just to help you, to give you some ideas. If you have another reason, by all means, share it with us. Okay, let me check the chat. Don't be shy, raise your hand and let's hear it as well.
I think mine will be to be recognized as a leader in my field, number one.
Beautiful, love that, absolutely. Let's hear a couple more.
Definitely
yeah, mine's lead generation or, sorry.
Go ahead, Angela, and after Hamish. Go ahead, Angela.
Oh, so yeah, just it is lead generation for the speaking business, promoting the program that we do. So that's
awesome.
Specifically.
Beautiful. Hamish?
Same as the last two. So having fun, definitely. I'm having the best fun. Become recognized. I want to grow a market. The lead generation. And it's going hand in hand with a program that I want and the book that I'm writing. So they all three of them all link together and they all waltz like this, getting me out there. So that's what it's for.
Absolutely. And
I have one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Being able to talk to people about what I do when I sleep.
I'm going to add that for next class. Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. Can I share mine?
Please.
I think my focus is about sharing my story and with my audience, and also get the opportunity to create a supportive community where I'm thinking women can also come in and share their stories, their experiences to motivate others in terms of.
Wonderful. Love that. Podcasting is an incredible, incredible way to share your story. And by sharing your story, to display expertise and connect heart to heart with exactly the audience. Maya wrote, sharing knowledge, recognition, lead generation, visibility, exponential growth. Absolutely. All of these are amazing reasons for podcast. Anyone else wants to share their answer?
I'll share.
Yeah.
Go ahead, one by one.
Ladies first, go right ahead, please.
Thank you. For me to launch a podcast will be to tell my story, to hear my voice. I also have our voice, but also with that story to bring the remembrance that we are more deep inside, that we are more huge, despite the names, the title, and all what we are doing as a human being. So I really feel my message will be to bring the remembering of what we are deep there inside ourselves.
Love that. Can't wait to hear your story, to help you, to see you become the person you're meant to be, spread your wings and fly high and all that. Because I know there's a beautiful message in you. Awesome. Paul, you're next, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to point something out that I find that the creator economy is really the future, as far as terms of marketing and goes like that. And I'm one of these guys that believes that, okay, there are 8 billion people in the world, so there should be 8 billion companies, or that should be what it is. So it's not just building a company, it's building a personal brand. And you're not just talking about podcasting here, you're talking about social media presence, you're talking about reels, video, Facebook groups, and throwing it all together in a holistic way of promoting your brand, whether it be a business brand, but more importantly, your personal brand. And podcasting is a long form way of doing that. So I think that this is a fantastic piece of a much bigger puzzle that we are all going to need, not just us here, but the next generation that we are teaching at the university too. So learning this, and I hope I can expel this to my students as well in the future. So this is something, it's digital artification of our talents and skills.
Absolutely. Great point. And you mentioned something, we all are the CEO of our own lives. So you have to, your number one role is to run your life the way you
That's
want.
Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mark, go ahead, brother.
Thanks, Payman. Yeah, exactly what Paul just said, really, in terms of just over the last year, I've been trying to, tackle different social medias, mainly sort of LinkedIn, with different approaches. And it's so time consuming. It's just absolutely baffling how I can let, almost like a full day go by trying to sort of like put posts together. And you just get really disheartened sometimes by, what the return is on that. I mean, obviously, I do understand that you're always planting seeds and people might, or eyes might return to those posts in the future. However, my point is that I see podcasting as just this amazing tool just to bring everything together, where you can almost do it in one episode is what I mean, and then the amount of spin-offs that you can do from that. But as Paul was saying, in terms of that brand, that personal brand, your listeners will really get to know you as you like they know you, as if they've sat over a dinner table with you. And to me, that's the power of being able to storytell in a much more authentic manner, rather than trying to put it together in some short piece on social media through text or something like that. People can hear your tonality, people can get to know your personality. And I mean, that's just a winning formula right there.
Absolutely. Beautiful. And if I may add just 30 seconds, podcasting is by far the best way, the most effective way to launch your first or next book. And having a book is something we all want. I've been blessed to have done 4 books through podcasting, 2 as me sharing a chapter in a book. My publisher is going to come on week 4 and talk to us about that. And I've done 2 here through my podcast. And again, these are collections of stories from guests from my podcast. You see at the back, you can't really see it, but each of them came, shared this story, and each of them paid to be in the book. So once you get going on the podcast, that could be another potential source of income for you through your podcast by inviting your guests to share their stories on your book. Each of them will be paying you. That's another way. And the book is the best way, is the greatest business card. I've been using my book as my business card in a very effective way. I love going to events. People ask me, can I have your business card? I just smile. I say, I don't have a business card, but here's my book. You should see the reaction. Oh, you have a book? Because again, nothing screams expertise, authority, and leadership than a book. The fact that you have a book about your business or even about your life, that automatically elevates you in their mind to being seen as an expert, an authority, a leader. Even more so, not just any expert, their authority, their leader. So you will see on week 4 when Mary's going to come, my amazing publisher, dear friend, and also alumni of the first class in December 2021. She's going to share to you how to get your book to your podcast. So that's an amazing thing to do. Maybe I should add that here, but just for you guys to know and have an overview. Okay, Bernadette, have a good one. Thank you for saying here. Make sure you watch the replay because we're almost done. Another 10 minutes, we're going to be done, and the rest is going to be pure gold.
I have to go though. Thank you. Bye.
Very welcome. Take care. All right, here's your first action step. Well, the second. The first one is getting a microphone. Second one is write down inside the Facebook group in one sentence, very clear, what is your goal, objective, purpose for launching your podcast? Number one reason. And again, be as specific as possible. One thing that you will see me repeat over and over and over the next 4 weeks and beyond, and that is clarity is the name of the game. The more specific you are, the more clarity you have, the more magnetic your message will be. So make sure you're as specific as possible. I shared with you in the previous slide some ideas, and other people give you some ideas, some reasons. So share yours. This is your second action steps. Now, this is something that is going to be at the core, at the foundation of your podcast, your business, and that is your zone of genius and true gift. I've covered that briefly inside the challenge. We're going to spend more time doing it here because this is what's going to make or break your podcast, your business, and determine how profitable it's going to be. And that is building your podcast, your business around your zone of genius. So you can speak from the heart by just sharing your story. So again, there's 4 ways, if you remember from the challenge, day 3, 4 ways to identify your zone of genius. The first way is professional background. Let's say you spend 10, 15, 20 years in any industry, say as an accountant, a realtor, a lawyer, dentist, whatever, or a hairdresser, whatever. That's a great first place to start. Now, if you don't want to do that, the second way is any natural, God-given, any talent that you may have. Some people may have amazing voices, or wonderful physical abilities, or amazing with numbers, with amazing memory, and so on and so forth. That's a great way to build a business. Third one is any high-income skill that you may have. Let's say you're an amazing copywriter, or let's say you're an amazing coder, or graphic designer, or even let's say you learned a skill, say like playing the guitar like a god, for example, or a piano, or whatever, saxophone, violin, and so on and so forth. These are powerful ways that people will be glad to pay you because these are things that people want. The last one, and that's the most common and probably my favorite, and that is look at your life. Look at any hardship, struggle, abuse, disease, trauma, tragedy, pain, betrayal, and so on that you may have overcome yourself in your life, because literally your crap is your gold. Nothing happens to you. Everything happens for you. Life is a school. We come here to learn and grow. Look at your life, and that's what we're going to be doing soon, to map out your life, to really identify your zone of genius. So let me ask you quickly. I want to hear 1 or 2 people. Looking at these 4 reasons, which one do you think is going to apply to you when it comes to identifying your zone of genius? Let's hear a couple of people.
It's Gifty here. I think for me, it's my professional background, but it's very much linked to the struggles I've experienced over the years as well, and how I overcame those struggles and shined, and I'm still here.
Beautiful. Love that. Vaida, you asked a beautiful question in the chat, and that is, what if I had many crap in my life? Which ones is the goal? That's an excellent question, and I'm going to handle that in the next slide. So you'll see that. We're going to do an exercise together. So thank you. Just hold that thought. Anyone else wants to share? Just one more person to see which one would apply to them?
Yeah, I can show up. For me, I think it's the most, yeah.
Which one?
The most is for the hardship, the struggles, the abuse, the trauma, all those life human experience.
Sure, absolutely. Yes, exactly. So we're going to do that in a moment. Thank you for sharing, Juliana. Okay, next, let's move on. Again, this is the exercise that's going to help all of us, especially you, and especially those of you that have had many, many, many very painful challenges. And that is, let's map our life. So this is one exercise that I do. I did myself as well. Take a piece of paper sometime this week or today. Look at all the major chapters of your life, especially the painful ones. I'm not asking you to write an essay, but write just 1 or 2 keywords for each chapter. And then at the bottom of each one, ask 2 questions. What is this trying to teach me? What is the lesson for me to learn to that? And once you've completed this piece of paper, stare at it deeply, almost as if you were meditating, focusing on it, staring at it, and see which one speaks the most loudest and the most visceral way, not just to you, not just to your heart, but to your soul. See which one speaks the loudest, the deepest with you. We've all had multiple difficult, painful, maybe horrible challenges in life. See which one was the most painful, the one that you will know instinctively, which one jumps straight to you. Does that make sense? So here's an exercise. This is a very powerful exercise. I invite all of you guys to do it today. Take a piece of paper, and then feel free to share your findings inside the Facebook group, because we're all here to help each other, to inspire each other, and to learn and grow from each other and with each other. So this, especially for someone like you, Vaida, and I know also Maya, we had a conversation. You have multifaceted, multi-talented person with multiple, lots of zones of genius. This is an excellent way for you to identify the number one, or the one that speaks the loudest to you, that you can build a very, not only profitable, but also impactful and a fulfilling business around it. Again, here's a couple of principles that I mentioned in the challenge that are very important to know, and that is, remember what I said, build your business the way you wished existed when you were starting just a few steps ago. Your avatar is you. Your avatar is a person that resembles you the most, someone that identifies with you, relates with you, to your message. And when they see you, they will see, wow, he or she understands me. They speak my language. I can see myself in them. So, and ideally, even more ideally, your avatar is no other than yourself just a few steps ago. Because when someone is looking for a coach, a mentor, they're not looking for a disconnected billionaire. They're looking for someone who's 1, 2, 3, at most 4 steps ahead of them. Someone that has successfully overcome what they're currently going through. This is why your crop is your goal. Whatever you overcame, someone is going through it right now, and they're desperately looking for someone to literally hold their hand as a big brother, big sister, tell them, hey, you're going to be okay. I'm here for you. I'm going to be cheering for you. I'm going to be helping you, inspiring you, being an accountability partner. And when you need it to, give you that kick in the butt that you need. So again, they want someone that is just a few steps ahead of them, someone that is reachable, accessible, and most importantly, someone that is authentic. So this is very, very important, guys. The more ideally, the ultimate goal is to build, again, as I said many times, once you've mapped out your life and find out your zone of genius with this exercise, then you will know. Build your podcast, build your business, your offer the way you wished existed when you were starting just a few steps back, when you were at your lowest. Put yourself when you were at your lowest and build your business, your offer, your podcast the way you wished existed when you were starting. That's how I built my podcast, my academy. I wish I had this academy when I was starting in September, October, November, December of 2021. So this is the golden rule, guys. Always remember that. You want to be speaking from the heart by just sharing your story, and by sharing your story of how you overcome that major challenge in your life. You're going to be displaying your expertise because you've done it. The people that are going to be listening to you, that will be looking for help, they want someone that successfully overcome what they're currently going through. And this is why it's so important to build your business on your zone of genius, something that you yourself overcome. This is very important. This is essential, the core of your business, your podcast. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, cool. And again, I already covered that. How do you do that? You achieve that by sharing your story, speaking from the heart. And when speaking from the heart and sharing your story, you will do 2 magical things. You will build rapport and earn the trust. And once you've earned the trust, that's when magic happens. They lower their guards. The opportunities open, doors open, wallets open, and so on and so forth. And those will really resonate with your message, relate with you, and identify with you will find you. And as I mentioned multiple times, high-ticket selling, high-ticket offers about one thing and one thing only: trust. This is the most important thing. And you build trust by building rapport. You build rapport by speaking from the heart. You speak from the heart by just sharing your story. It's a circle. Everything follows. This is very simple, but very, very, very powerful. Here's your second action step. Write down your answer to the following question inside the Facebook group. What is your zone of genius and gift? Again, I highly want you to do this exercise. Seriously, this exercise is worth its weight, not only in gold, but I would say in diamond. I don't know what's above diamond. Maybe plutonium, whatever. Seriously, guys, do this exercise, because this is what's going to really give you the clarity you need to build an unstoppable business. Unstoppable, profitable, fulfilling, and impactful. The ultimate 4 factors for a foundation of a powerful business. So do that. What is your zone of genius and gift? Again, Feel free to look at the slides. I will be sharing the slides and the replay just later today. And again, always, always, always be as specific as you can. I'm not asking you to write a 2,000-word essay, just 1 or 2 sentences, but very specific, very specific. And please share those in the Facebook group so that we can learn from each other and inspire each other, and also so you can get to know each other. And in the process, who knows, make some powerful connections, collaborations, partnerships. Next, once we've done that, the what, let's dive into the who. Once you know exactly what is your zone of genius, what is the number one, by sharing your story, then the person. Again, the person is, you want to be as specific as possible. I actually mentioned that. This is just an overview, a review of that. Again, you want that person to be as specific as possible, someone that ideally resembles you. Here's some examples. I will share with you some examples of avatar. Let's say you are an accountant or a financial advisor, realtor, author, speaker, educator. You don't want to be just building a business, your podcast for accountants, financial advisors, realtors, and author, and so on and so forth, because it's going to be very, very, very competitive. And it's going to be an upstream battle. You're going to be swimming in a red ocean of big, big sharks. Instead, you want to have specificity, clarity, so that your message goes magnetic as opposed to generic, and when it's generic, it's going to be watered down and all that. So here's some examples from previous classes, previous students of successful avatars for the businesses. Male entrepreneurs over 40, female residential realtors, female holistic nutritionists, female corporate executives, male nurses, married male entrepreneurs, single mother entrepreneurs, teenage counselors, single dad entrepreneurs, for example, holistic speaker, author, practitioner, whatever, and all that. Personal trainer from busy moms, for busy dads, for entrepreneurs, for executives, for chefs, and so on and so forth. You get the point, right? The more specific. This is why a brain surgeon is paid much more than a general practitioner. This is why a Formula One mechanic is paid much more than just the regular mechanic down your street. Again, here's your action step 3. Write down who is your ideal listener and client, one very specific person. I shared with you some examples. Feel free to have a look to get inspired. But as you see, everything builds from the previous slides and all that. So make sure you go to all of that. And again, be as specific as possible, because the more detailed you have, the more clarity you will have. And the more clarity you have, the more magnetic your message will be. And the faster, the easiest, the deeper you will find the person, and deeper they will be able to connect with you. So that's it for today. Any questions for anything that I covered so far? And then we'll take some Q&As, and then we'll call it a day and a night. Any questions?
So Payman,
yes, go ahead.
Payman, the avatar that you're talking about, that's kind of like persona, a persona of your ideal client in marketing. Yes. So it would be specific. What if we have multiple specifics?
Great question. I would refer you to go back to identifying your zone of genius, because most of us have had we can have multiple zone of genius. But the point of this here is to identify the one that speaks the loudest to your core, to your soul, and then build your business around that. Each of us instinctively know which that is. You will know as soon as you do this exercise, to mapping out your life. Take a piece of paper, write down every especially the painful, the challenging chapters of your life. No need to write an essay for each one, just 2 keywords for each one at the bottom, 2 questions. What is this trying to teach me? What is the lesson for me to learn to that? And then once it's completed, stare at it. Focus on it and see which one speaks the loudest to you, to your core, to your heart, to your soul. And then you will know. The deeper, the more painful the experience was, the more it's gonna jump at you. And then from that, you can once you've done that, that can be your zone of genius. And from this, you know instinctively who's gonna be your avatar. Does that answer your question, Paul? Awesome. Hamish, you raised your hand. Go ahead, brother.
This is an interesting one because my guests have made sense of addiction, drugs, alcohol, whatever. So they've overcome. So they are sharing stories of, yes, you can get over it. Whereas my clients are people who are in that journey. So I don't have an answer for one specific. I've got guests who are and clients who will be.
Great question. The best avatar is look at yourself, look at your life. Which one of those addictions did you yourself, Hamish, overcome yourself?
I was the drugs and alcohol. So I am my avatar. Yeah, I've established
Absolutely.
that last week with you.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's it.
So that's them. But the guests is going to be different, isn't it?
It's really up to you. It's your podcast, your business. You select, you decide which guest do you bring in, what profile of guests you're going to bring in. So up to now, you've brought people that had multiple forms of addiction, but from now on, we're building a very laser-focused, strategic podcast in the business around what you overcame. So in that case, I would recommend you invite only the type of guests that are suffering from what you personally yourself overcome. And that is, you mentioned drugs and alcohol, so that you can simply share your story, speak from the heart. And by sharing your story, speaking from the heart, you're displaying your expertise as to how you yourself, you've overcome those, because that's what people want. Someone that has successfully overcome what they're currently going through. They're looking for guidance, inspiration, like a big brother, big sister to literally hold their hand and tell them, hey, grab my hand and let me help you out, so to speak, literally and figuratively speaking. That's the best business to do, because again, you're not doing research on something that you may not master. You're just sharing your story. Because the point of this is to be as authentic as possible. And how are you authentic? By just sharing your story. Did I answer your question, brother?
Kinda, but you've got a businessman who is drinking too much and his boss doesn't know, his team doesn't know. He's not wanting necessarily to be on the podcast. So I can see the guests will be people, as I said, who shared it, whereas the listeners will be that. So that's where I'm seeing the listeners may well be the spouse of or the business partner of. So it's I don't see it's very easy to find someone who is doing lines of coke as a trader and then coming on to share their story. That's the curiosity bit there.
Absolutely. One way to go over that is just on a Zoom. There's a beautiful option. Let me show you right here. Let me just stop sharing the screen. See what I've done? I just turned on my camera. Yep. And people can also very easily change their name. If you click on the three dots on your name, rename. For example, you can say, I don't know, Bruce Lee.
Drug addict.
Exactly. You can change your name to whatever you want. Unless they have a very distinct voice, like say, what's his name? What's his name? The very iconic American actor. What's his name? Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
You will recognize his voice from a billion people. For example, someone else. Cool. Exactly. So I wouldn't let that stop me. Yes, your topic is very touchy. Not many people will come publicly with a face and all that, share that. But you'd be surprised if you can really get them to open up, build trust and rapport.
Yep.
They will. And if they're not comfortable, just very easy. Just do that. And you can ask them to change their name. Exactly.
Yeah. No, brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, that'll be a nice addition to it as well. Yeah.
Did that answer your question?
Yep.
All right, cool. Next, I saw Peter. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, I have been thinking about this seriously, about the ideal client, about the avatar, but the strange thing which I'm struggling to wrap my head around is I can't really pinpoint the avatar, even if it would be myself, because what I can identify is a common denominator. So me as a business coach, I work with people that have understood no matter what they did in their life, work for someone else, they didn't reach their full potential. So they chose business as the tool or as a step to get where they want to be. And it's still not working. So they may be a builder, beautician, they may be a lawyer. It can be technically any role, but it's literally just someone who is running a business to achieve a lot more. They know they can do it, they just don't know how. How can you actually describe this? Put all of these people into one kind of an avatar.
I would refer to what I just said earlier. Map out your life to identify what is the painful experience that speaks the loudest and the most visceral way to you, and then look at what major life challenge you've overcome yourself and build your business around that. I understand you're a business coach, you're helping business owners, achieve whatever you're trying to teach them. That's a great way. But what I would recommend is to have very laser focused clarity, laser focused result for your clients and for yourself, and attract the kind of people that really resonate with you at the deepest level, as to build your business, your offer, your messaging, your podcast around one of the 4 ways to identify your zone of genius that I mentioned: either professional background, natural God-given talent, high income skills, or major life challenge you overcome yourself. So take some time today, Peter, to really brainstorm us to see which one of those really apply to you. And based off that, you can progress to the slide and see which one applies to you, because everything is progressive. This is what I would recommend for you, to really do a, do a personal brainstorming, soul searching, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know if you meditate or whatever, just find some quiet time to connect with your soul, with your higher self, whatever way it is that you can achieve that, whether it's through meditation, prayer, swimming under the water, whatever it is, or walk in the woods, whatever it is. No, seriously, find your way to really connect with yourself, to find some peace of mind, some peace. What I do is that I've been struggling to quiet my mind. So for me, it's water. Probably I was a dolphin in a past life. The picture behind me in Malaysia, I used to go to the swimming pool, and just before going on the water and holding my breath, I would say, universe, inspire me, show me the way. Here in Vietnam, I don't have a swimming pool, but I have a beach. I go on the beach every day just for a walk. I just sit on the stairs, or when it's nice, I go in the water, hold my breath, and swim on the water. Say, universe, before I dive, universe, inspire me. And more often than not, I get answers, I get visions, I get hunches, ideas, gut feelings. So find a way to connect with yourself. I think that's what I would recommend. But ultimately, go back to the exercise I gave in today's day 1. Map out your life. Take a piece of paper, write down the major painful challenges of your life chapters. Write 1 or 2 keywords for each one, and at the bottom, these 2 questions. What is this trying to teach me? What is a lesson for me to learn to that? And then and once it's completed, stare at it and see which one speaks the loudest to you in a visceral way, to your gut feeling, to your soul, to your heart. Does that answer your question?
Well, kind of. Well, what I've told you, what I've opened this with, is actually a product of all of this, because I've been trying to nail this for many, many years, yet haven't found the way. It's also my life. I knew that going and working for someone else isn't going to fulfill me in any way. It's not going to deliver me the goals of my life. It's not going to work for me. So I chose business myself. I ran my own business for 10 years and it worked in a great way. So it is literally me. I'm trying to describe myself 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago.
That's it.
Just struggling to find a way how to put it so a lot more people can actually understand this.
So put yourself back to when you were starting 20 years ago and see what was the number 1 challenge you were facing yourself when you were just starting, when you had nothing, no connection, no contact, no resources. Put yourself back in a time machine to that moment when the version of you, the Peter Russell of you 20 years ago, whenever that was, what was the main pain point you were facing yourself? What was the one thing you wished you had back then that you didn't, but that you do have now? and build your offer, your messaging for the version of you that was starting back.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, kind of.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I want to say hell yes.
No. It is helping, not directly, like you just gave me an answer, but you're giving me little bits and pieces, which I will take and use and see what pops out.
If you wanna brainstorm together, book a time on my calendar, and we'll do that later this week.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Any other questions?
Now, one thing I'd like to say, just as a comment, is that the biggest thing that I took out from this part of the training from the last time I was on it is this: how to identify your zone of genius and really work on that to be able then to talk about something authentically, because this for me was the game changer. And once I got the zone of genius sorted out, then it was just a question of thinking, right, who can I invite? Because I don't talk about how you save time. We're a business outsourcing company. Don't do that. Don't think about how leveraging time or anything like that is helpful. I talk about people's experiences in overcoming challenges. And often there's an element there of, I wish I'd done it sooner, or I wish I had more people to help me, or I wish I could have formed a community. And that then leads me into what we do. It's actually a really lovely way, just like you, Payman, you have a podcast called Leaders with a Heart. And that's not directly related to building a profitable podcast.
No, because when I started, I had no clue, no desire to do that.
Yeah, exactly. But the great thing is, everybody here, I would say, once you start to talk about your zone of genius, you've got then the trust element in people where you can then talk about something else that you do and just gently guide them to it. And because they're already absolutely with you, trusting you, being your friends, the one thing is I'd say is don't necessarily overcomplicate it right now. Get an idea, get a seed, get a little germination of an idea coming up. And as this training goes on, what you'll find is that all the different strands that Payman gives us, you can start to build on that and go, because what you might first think might not be what you end up with. And so I'd say keep as much of an open mind as possible. But this whole idea of zone of genius and speaking from the heart, something where you could literally speak nonstop for 5 hours on something that you're really passionate about without a script, without something that you have to read or necessarily research. Now, if you can get that in the zone, you've got an amazing podcast. And then what happens is things just naturally kind of fit into that kind of remit. But it's that zone of genius so that you know that you can gently move people and guide them to maybe what you're doing within your service, that because they've got the trust, they'll come with you on that journey.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's a beautiful, powerful reminder. For example, when I started my podcast back in 2021, at first I started because I was bored. I had nothing else to do. I was broke. At the time, I was trying to build an audience for an upcoming Kickstarter launch for e-commerce products. I was looking for people to build an audience for that. But eventually, as the months and times go on, the world was in a crazy position back then. It was impossible. Logistics were affected. I did not want to source my product in China, and I lived in China for 4 years for various reasons. So looking in Mexico, I looked in Europe, I looked in India. It didn't work. But eventually, over the course of a few weeks, I started to get connected to spiritual entrepreneurs, awakened entrepreneurs. And that led me towards my own awakening, spiritual awakening, and so on and so forth. And over the years, it slowly started to divert into what it is now. So the point is, be open-minded. What you're starting now may not be what you will end up in a year or 2 years from now, because you will be a different person. You will be a different stage. For example, for me, when I started, I had no idea how to monetize a podcast. I had no desire to build an academy, didn't even know how to do it. It happened to me after a year by people asking me questions. Once I reach 100 episodes, people started reaching out to me. Hey, can you help me launch my podcast? At first, I was hesitant. I was telling them, hey, watch this video on YouTube. They said, no, show me how I did it. I said, what do you want me to show you? I don't know anything. I just did it. Well, show me how you did it. That's how it happened for me. Slowly, at first, I was hesitant. So keep an open mind. Pay attention to the feedback and the data you're getting from your market, especially the people that are paying you, and then make changes as you go. This is how it happened to me. And I'm sure it's going to happen to most of you as well. And that's what makes life so beautiful. It's a beautiful journey that we don't know. Life is a surprise, like a box of chocolate in a good way. All right, let's move on. Hamish, you had your hand raised, and then Mark.
Yeah, I asked, you answered my question, so on to Mark. Thank you.
All right, welcome. Go ahead, Mark.
Thanks, Hamish. Yeah, it was just a lot of it's been answered actually in both Deborah and what you've just been saying as well. But just as we've been going through the lesson, I've been thinking about. I think I know what my zone of genius is, and a bit like Peter, I've sort of struggled about how I can put that together because, in a sense, I could help everybody or many people, you know, in terms of how to potentially break free from both diet and exercise sort of frustrations and make things a lot easier, basically, like without anywhere near as much time committed in the act of doing so. And to a lot of people, that's, I mean, time is highly valuable, right? So I really feel I could sort of just by my own podcast, having a platform or a stage, start to be able to get my message out there, that's going to help, right? But obviously, I'm thinking in terms of everything you're saying, in terms of being as clear as possible, in terms of what my avatar or persona would be. You know, I've sort of earmarked high-performing family men between, let's say, 35, 49 years old in that bracket, right? And now I relate to these two, or they could relate to me, resonate to my message. Two factors. One could be if they've been in some kind of either over exercise pattern that has become chore-like and just drains them both from time and energy. Or they might never have really got into a proper exercise routine, but struggle with, you know, hunger, appetite, and cravings throughout their high-performing days, which totally derail them. Well, not derail them maybe, but, you know, just make daily life a lot more challenging, and they could actually be a lot more productive and maybe run their teams better, or if they're entrepreneurs, just get better results, quicker results, with improved cognitive function that comes through eating well and the metabolic sort of ramifications of that. So yeah, that's basically it. So in my head, I know this is going to be a journey over the next few weeks, which is why I'm so excited, because I know what I'm like. I tend to overthink things very at the beginning and don't actually give space to allow that time for those kind of, as you said, that higher self, those different ideas to come into the head. So yeah, that's just a little bit of where I'm kind of at the moment. I guess it's just about letting these next few days unfold to seeing what happens, whether I go all in and say I help chronic exercises, or whether I, you know, which would be really niche, wouldn't it, to say that I work with high performing men between 35 and 49 that are also in a chronic exercise pattern. You know, because that's my own trauma, if you like, and that's been my own transformation.
Yeah, one way for you, for example, you're a fit guy, you're successful, you're a father, put the three together, successful fit fathers, helping them level up to the next level by helping them overcome the number one pain point that's stopping them from reaching the next level, whatever that is. That's something that we will work together in week 4 to help you identify what is that number one pain point. So for example, that's just an idea. For example, all of us in here, we can help everyone. For example, can I help a woman go through pregnancy effectively? Sure, I can learn it. But can I really connect and share it authentically? No, never. Because I'm not a woman. So, and this is why doing the exercise that I mentioned earlier today, take a piece of paper, map up your life, look at all the, for example, for you, Mark, have you ever been in your life out of shape, gain weight, and you have to lose it again? If yes, that's a gold mine. Just share how you were fit. Actually, there was an American guy. I forgot the name. Maybe Paul, you remember him. He was super fit. He gained weight on purpose and then lost it again. He documented and he was all over the news and he blew up like a personal trainer. Forgot the name. Yeah. It was all over the news a few years ago. He was super fit all his life. Then he gained a bunch of weight on purpose by just eating McDonald's and crap food for 6 months. And then he documented his journey of losing that, and he blew up because people want to see the growth. So if you, for example, Mark, at any time of your life, you were struggling with whether it was depression, lack of, motivation because of whatever, and you gained a bunch of weight, then that could be an amazing thing that you can help someone similar to you who was fit, successful, then something happened in life that derailed them. And then you will help. You come here to help that person because you've been on a journey yourself. Again, it's all about helping others overcome what you overcame and they're currently going through. That's the ultimate business where you can really speak from the heart and help someone at the highest level. We can all help everyone with pretty much most things, but the point we're trying to find here is, what is a person we can help at the highest level? And that is a person that is something that you yourself overcame just recently.
If you're saying it like that, then it's already coming to me, because when you in the exercise where you said put two key words down for challenging moments in your life, and two words that come into my mind immediately was trapped or slave, being a slave to this kind of routine that I'd created. So I don't really have a fat loss story. Like, I've always been in shape. Question, but what I do have, and a lot of people that know me now are very surprised about this, is I used to be quite a heavy drinker in my 20s. I used to smoke until I was almost 30. I was an expatriate living in tropical locations, living a very dreamy lifestyle in beach clubs and all the rest of it. However, I was not a healthy boy. I might have looked in good shape. I was not healthy, believe me. And I used to get regular illnesses and all that, mainly because of my lifestyle, but also batter myself with exercise. So I've had my own transformation. I'm free of all of that now. My exercise regime is a third of what it used to be. I eat 2 meals a day. I intermittent fast. I meditate. That side of my life is completely different as a 40-year-old man compared to when I was, let's say, in my early 30s, when I organically started to make that change. Okay. So yeah, I can make.
Perfect. Look at you when you were in your 30s. You would say you were partying, you were not eating healthy and all that. Document the journey, reverse engineer that, and help the person who's currently in that stage where you were when you were in your 30s, and help them get to where you are now, fit, 40, successful, and all that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Just
definitely.
Very quick thought, Mark. Why not just go for expats? Why not target them? Because they're all living that lifestyle of excess. I know I lived in South Africa for a while, and that's a great market. Some of them know they want to get fit, or know they should, and their wives certainly would appreciate it. Just a thought.
Successful expats.
That's it.
Yeah.
Successful expats who eat too much, go to the gym too often. Yeah.
It's a fabulous idea. Thanks for that, Hamish. I think the only thing right now is that I'm obviously now back in England. However, I don't know whether I even need to overthink that or not. If I was still like in Bali or Thailand, I'd jump on that straight away. That idea. But yeah, definitely food for thought, and definitely if when we move back to the sunshine, that's a great way that I could take it. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I just remember the name of that guy. His branding is Fit to Fat to Fit. Very inspiring story. Go on YouTube, you will see him. Let's take one or two more questions. It's been almost 2 hours. 1 or 2 more questions. Juliana, any questions? Carolyn.
Yes, I guess very fortunate indeed in my life, because I have one tiny rubbish part of it, which isn't really as huge as many of you have. So that zone of genius is a bit of a hiccup.
Okay, just go to the slides. I'll be posting them in about a couple of hours from now. Spend some time to go to it, brainstorm, and then you will get some inspiration. Let's see what else. Vaida, any questions?
I'm very deep in my thoughts because, as I mentioned, a lot of crap. I don't know where to start. So a long
Start
night
from the start.
and the life.
You know, honestly, if for those of us that have lived in one lifetime enough to fill 5 or 10 lifetimes, do the exercise I talked about. Map out your life. Take a big piece of paper. You don't have to write an essay for each one. One or two keywords for each major painful chapter of your life. And at the bottom, 2 questions. What is this trying to teach me? What is the lesson for me to learn to that? Once it's complete, just stare at it for how long you will need, however long you will need. And then you will see it in your gut feeling, which one speaks to you the loudest. And the one that speaks the loudest, that's your gut feeling. And as I mentioned earlier, your gut feeling, you're anxious, that's your soul talking to you. Listen to it. And then that would be a great way to start on your identifying your zone of genius.
As I mentioned before you, and I texted that all the challenges, it's then I doing coaching for myself. So going into 2 main words. It's self-worth is no matter child, woman, man. Especially if you lost your parents early, especially if you divorced or you've been from alcoholic family, especially, this is shouts very, very loudly that please listen or hear me, see me. And that's why from this passion, I already created that, my podcast name, Voice of Liberta, which Liberta is my nickname, and it's called Liberty. As I was fighting always for truth, for freedom. And I think all challenges in my life, what I faced is going about that, is a freedom. That's why free your soul, free your message, be true person.
Yeah, love that. Love your story. Yeah.
Connection, what I find out, because I was doing this a little bit homework, not so deep as you mentioned today, but everything what I trying to what I thought.
One thing, I think it was Mark which mentioned it earlier, which is very powerful for all of us, and that is sometimes we tend to overthink things. Let's simplify things, all of us, including myself. So do the assignment, do the homework, go to the slides, spend some time, and also keep in mind, even though this is a 4-week program, if it takes you 6 weeks, 8 weeks to do it, that's okay. Don't feel bad because you're not able to keep up pace. You're doing it at your own pace. We're all on our own journey. Your competition is not anyone in here. Your competition is the version of you yesterday. Your goal is to be just 1% better than the Peter, the Deborah, the Vida, the Amish, the Juliana, the Carolyn, the Paul, Gifty, and so on and so forth of yesterday. That's your only competition, not anyone else. Once you remember that every day, then you will feel like a massive weight lifted off your shoulders because you don't have anyone to live up to. And that's what society, family, religion, whatever, always tries to compare us to each other. And that's wrong. Your only competition is just you. So even if it takes you longer, Vaida, if you're not able to find what really speaks to you today, don't feel bad. It's okay. You will get that intuition, that inspiration. Once I learned that you will get it when the time is right, or just set the intention. Next time you go for a walk or even swim, take a shower, cook, walk, drive, whatever, even a nap. Before you do so, just say, universe, inspire me, show me the way, give me a sign, and so on and so forth. This is what I do. Do what works for you. And again, reach out to everyone in here, and myself would be happy to help, to work, to brainstorm with each other, because it's what we do. We are in a small class for that reason. Don't be shy. We're all in the same boat. We're all working together to find ourselves, to find our zone of genius, so we can all improve, myself included. I still have work to do. It's a work in progress. Because I said, when I started my podcast, I was about e-commerce, then about something else. And now it's about, helping my students find their zone of genius. That's what I do. So again, have open mind, and be ready to pivot based on the feedback and data you're getting from the market, from the people who are paying you, from the feedback you're getting from your clients, because that's the only feedback that really matters. I hope this answers your question, Vaida. If you want, I'd be happy to get on a call with you. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm packed solid, but either Wednesday or Friday. And very welcome, further brainstorm. Let's see, would they forget? Maya, any questions? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I've been sitting listening and digesting, and I feel sick, and I'm going to cry. And so looking at that zone of genius, or looking at that thing that really gets to you. What I've realized looking at this is my zone of genius actually is helping people overcome suicide, loss, and really helping them to, I mean, not just suicide of others and loss of others, but actually what happens when you have experienced such trauma that you lose parts of yourself. Yeah. And I'd been really fighting it because it came to me about 6 weeks ago, and I thought, I don't want to go there. But then I suddenly realized, listening to everybody and writing down some notes, that the other incredible gift I have is that that people that have left the planet, as you know yourself, because it happened when we were chatting, they just come slamming through, right? I'm just this open portal and an incredible receiver and in that receiving of information and in that capacity to converse with people who are still physically here and their loved ones, somehow massive healing takes place and they get to reclaim themselves. So despite the fact that I didn't want to go there, I think I have to go there. Yeah, thanks, Hamish. I know.
Here's a hug for you.
Yeah. So actually, the more I'm tuning into it, the more I'm realizing that is actually my gift. My gift is that phoenix thing and the reclaiming of oneself and one's soul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If that's where your heart, if that's where is your heart leading you to?
Well, I think I have to, because I'm sitting here and I'm crying and my heart hurts. So, hello. My partner's just come back. He's been away for a few days. Yes,
hello,
I've got some tea. Everyone's saying hello.
Hello.
Yeah, he can't hear because I got my headphones on. But yeah, no, I feel that is it, actually.
Okay.
And as I'm talking about it, I'm not resisting it. I'm feeling softer and softer in my body. So
beautiful. Here's a hug from all of us.
Thank you. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Thank you. And it is very interesting because when you first asked what's the thing, and of all the traumatic things, dying myself hasn't been the most traumatic thing, but watching my son try to kill himself over and over and over, and then him coming out of that and then going back into it and then coming out and going and that is the hardest thing as a parent. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And
thank you for all listening. Thank you.
Listen, you're very welcome. You being this authentic, this emotional, you're gonna speak directly to the soul of the person that's going through what you've been through yourself. This is gonna be a very fulfilling, impactful, and profitable business, because this is what's make a business super profitable, is the impact. Remember what I said in the challenge? Don't make your business transactional, make it transformational. And this is it. This is the ultimate.
And it's really interesting because all of these big loss traumas every time, the thing that I wanted more than anything else was to know where to go to find some form of solace or soothing that was really safe. And, you know, there's nothing worse than people telling you it's going to be all right and you'll get over it. Because you don't.
Especially someone who hasn't been in those shoes. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And it's those platitudes, I think, that are they're well-meaning but cruel. And I think that that is what I would have wanted every single time, is somewhere I could go to just sink into where I was at and then find a way out, find the buoyancy again. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing
Maya,
that.
Yes.
Can I just say, having been somebody who was about to commit suicide, that would be the most amazing, truly inspirational, wonderful, compassionate thing that you can do.
Yeah, I understand completely, because I've been there myself, and I didn't understand it until I got there myself, when I got into menopause at the beginning, and it was like, what happened to me? You know, very, very interesting. And it's quite an interesting, I mean, I have a lot of stories around this, particularly because my son has been my best teacher my whole life. Yeah. And my dad was in that regard, was a good teacher. But thank you for that, Deborah. I'm actually beginning to feel quite excited about where this can go.
And you know what, Maya? So am I. And I want you on my podcast.
And vice versa.
You are on it, my darling. You will own it. And this podcast, for anybody here, and I know we're just a few now, and I have to go in a second, but we are a family. We are a family, and we are here to give everybody, Payne was saying, giving you a big hug. We give you all, and we receive so much hug and so much love through this. We are together, united. Nothing that you can say will ever be judged. We are here to support everybody, and you are, all of you, Carolyn, Payman, Maya, inspirations. Thank you. I know lots of loo roll, darling. Lots of rollers tissue paper. Because
I tell you something, guys. Right? When you know what they say, when the student's ready, ... the teacher, right? This has been brewing, and the timing is perfect. And I just want to give Payman a great, huge hug back for, and I want to give you, Deborah, a big, huge hug back for just bringing him here. And I think we're going to have an amazing party. I really do.
Thank you for sharing this.
What this training is all about. It's the metamorphosis. You come out as a change, not just a transformation. You change on a cellular level.
I understand. I can feel it. And
yes. Wow, amazing, guys. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Deborah. I was a completely different person. I was the shyest person in the world. Now look at me, can't shut me up. Same for Deborah. Before we leave, just want to have these two people give them an opportunity. Gifty and David, any questions, my friends, before we call it a day?
Well, I have been listening, so I guess it's got me thinking. If I'm in terms of being specific, is what majority of us may be thinking. Although the message may be targeted to many, but you said, you know, we should be specific. And I've just thought about women in healthcare industry, but at the same time, those who are parents, you know, it's come to mind because I was, and how I manage and juggle those moments, it was quite key. So again, reflecting, and I like the way you said we should ponder over them, and it will come. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. Thanks for everyone's story.
Excited. Thank you for sharing, Gifty. We're here for you. David, brother, any questions before we call it a day?
I love this conversation, because what it's done is it's actually just solidified my zone of genius. Thank you, guys, for all your questions and listening and hearing. And the lady with her son, I forget her name.
Maya.
Beautiful. Maya, there we go. Maya, we need to talk.
Yes.
You and I need to
connect with each other.
I want you on my podcast, please. Or let me put it this way. I'm inviting you to be on my podcast. Thank you, everybody. And Payman, you've given me my zone of genius. Thank you.
Pleasure's all mine, brother. Listen, guys, I'm honored. I can't get out. I don't want to get out, but I really need to go get some food. I'm starving. It's 9:12 here. All of you guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your business. It means the world to me. I will be posting the replay and the slides maybe within 2 hours from now when I come back from dinner and a nice walk. So just before I call it the night, you'll get this. So please take this seriously. Do the homework. Spend time with yourself to really map out your life to identify zone of genius. That's really going to be the blueprint for your business. And also get in touch with each other. Don't be shy. Get on calls to get to know each other and eventually get on each other's podcast to help each other. This is what we do. One of the best thing about these communities is the connection, the networking. So that's my parting message for you. Deborah, do you have any parting message, parting tip?
Well, everybody, we're here on a journey. We're on there for the ride. There will be ups and there'll be a bit of downs because we were learning all the time. But Payman, on behalf of everybody here and who isn't here, thank you so much for your wonderful, wonderful gifts to us today. And we can't wait until next time, darling.
For sure. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the group.
Thank you so much. Deborah will keep in touch.
Absolutely, my darling. Absolutely. Oh,
take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Good night. Good afternoon.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.